students, today we are going to see air standard Otto cycle, how it is work. And as we know, this is not the actual cycle. There are lot of assumptions made, and this cycle is used to analyze actual air fuel cycle. But due to lot of assumptions, it become oversimplified. Why we require this? Because in our IC engine, the complete work done or output is carried out by cyclic process, that is suction, compression, then power and then exhaust. But at the suction inlet, the mass having a different quality, different composition, air and fuel mixture. And at the exhaust, whatever be the mass going outside the cylinder having a different composition, different parameters, that is the exhaust gases, and having a number of different gases composition there. So to simplify this analysis, we use air standard closed cycle, because actual cycle is not a closed cycle, because mass enter into the system, then exhaust gases removed out from the system. At the same time, heat and work also cross the boundary of that system. So actual IC engine cycle or air fuel cycle is not a closed cycle. So we use air standard cycle as a closed cycle to analyze the real actual IC engine cycles. But due to many simplified, oversimplified assumptions, our result on the basis of air standard cycle become approximated. Okay. Now, what are the different assumptions in air standard cycle? We assume there is only one fluid, and that is air. In actual, there is air and petrol mixture, but here we assume only one fluid, that is air, and we also assume air behave like an ideal gas. Okay, and the mass remains same, and it is a closed cycle. That means that air mass is not enter into the system or it is not leaving the system. All the processes in air standard cycle, we assume that it is reversible processes. So all these assumptions make it oversimplified. Now we will check out how to derive the air standard efficiency for Otto cycle. Now in this, as in an actual cycle, heat is generated by the burning of fuel and air mixture. But here we are assuming there is only one fluid, that is air. So we have to supply heat from any external source, that is reservoir. So heat reservoir is a source of heat supply, and also we use a heat rejection with the help of heat sink. So there is no any kind of burning. Okay. So we will check out first how air standard cycle is assumed, how it will work, and we will plot that air standard cycle on PV and TS diagram, and then after we will derive the air standard efficiency for Otto cycle. So let's start. So suppose this is our regular piston cylinder arrangement having connecting rod, crankshaft, and as we know that it always rotates in a clockwise direction. But as there is no suction or exhaust process, it is assumed that in air standard cycle, whatever be the air mass is entered into the system remains same. So it forms a closed system. So mass remains same. Suppose m amount of mass is there. This mass remains same. When it is entrapped, then we compress this mass. So suppose this piston is at extreme position. From this position, when piston move towards cylinder head, that's mean in this direction towards left. So whatever be the mass inside the cylinder, that air get compressed. Compressed till it reach to extreme right position. And normally, if a vertical engine is there, we can say that top dead center, bottom dead center. But here it is a horizontal engine, so we can say inner dead center and outer dead center. So extreme right position when piston is here, whole cylinder is filled by the mass, particular mass m, and this fluid is the air, and we assume this air working as an ideal fluid. Then when piston move towards left side, outermost position, then whole air get compressed. That is called the compression process. So suppose this is the first point where this much amount of volume, suppose this is say V1 volume. So air having a V1 volume, then when it move from inner dead center to outer dead center, whole volume get compressed. But this compression process is a reversible adiabatic process. So through this reversible adiabatic process, whole mass of air get compressed. So this is PV adiabatic, so raised to the power gamma constant. So this is a compression process. And at the end of reversible compression process, it reach to point 2 when piston reach to outer dead center, and the volume will be V2. Now, as I said, there is no mixture of fuel air, only air is there. So we have to supply heat. So for that we use heat reservoir, heat source. So we attach a heat source at the head of this cylinder arrangement. This is heat source. Now what happens when we attach a heat source to the cylinder? Heat is transferred from source to the compressed air. So this is heat addition. But it is assumed that when we add the heat, when piston reach to outer dead center, whole mass get compressed to a small volume, that is V2. At that position, we add heat by using heat source, heat reservoir. So constant volume heat addition process. So we are adding heat at a constant volume. So volume remains same. Our graph will be vertical then, vertical line. This is constant volume process, heat addition till it reach to point 3. So volume is constant volume heat addition. Here we actually adding heat. So heat is supplied, QS, heat is supplied. So when we supplied heat with the help of heat source, what happened? This air now try to expand. So after heat addition, what happened? This air try to expand and piston moves from outer dead center to inner dead center. So expansion takes place. So in that case, expansion forces push this piston towards inner dead center. So direction of movement of piston like this. And this expansion is also assumed that a reversible adiabatic. So our expansion takes place in a reversible adiabatic process. So this is expansion process. It is also reversible adiabatic. So PV raised to the power gamma constant. So this is expansion, this is compression. When it is expanded and piston reach to inner dead center, in regular engine we have to go for exhaust stroke, but here it is not the same case. So when piston reach to inner dead center, we attach heat sink. So air having an energy, lot of energy. After expansion, we attach heat sink to the head of this cylinder. Now what happens? The heat of this air will transfer to heat sink. That means heat is rejected. When we attach a heat source, heat is added, so heat is supplied. When we attach a heat sink, heat is rejected, so heat is removed. So likewise, there is a complete cyclic process and closed cyclic process, because mass remain inside the piston cylinder arrangement. It is not coming in from surrounding, or it is not exhausted out to the surrounding. So mass remain inside the system only. So when after expansion it reach to position 4, then after again at constant volume, that is when piston moves from outer dead center to inner dead center, piston position is here. Whole cylinder is filled with high temperature air. Then we attach heat sink. Heat is rejected to the sink. Mass and volume remains same. So heat is rejected at constant volume. So our heat rejection process is at constant volume. So this is volume constant, but this time it is rejected to the heat sink, QR. Again cycle repeated. Again piston moves towards outer dead center, then it gets compressed. After compression, we attach a heat source, then heat is added, then expansion, then heat rejection. So it is forming a closed cycle. Mass remain inside, it is not moving anywhere, it is not crossing the system boundary. Now suppose I like to plot this cyclic process on TS diagram. Then first compression is adiabatic compression. So adiabatic compression, so entropy remains same. So this is suppose adiabatic compression. First point, lowest temperature point. Before compression, having a lowest temperature point. When we compress the air, it temperature rises, suppose reach to point 2, and this is a adiabatic process, so we can say PV gamma constant compression process. Then after we add heat at constant volume, so constant volume heat addition process. So when we add heat at constant volume, temperature rises as well as entropy increases. This is volume constant and heat addition. So Q is supplied. Then after process reach to 2 to 3 point position, after heat addition, air get expanded, but this expansion is also adiabatic. So again expansion process having adiabatic, so constant entropy. So it is again PV gamma constant. This is expansion process reach to point 4. and then point 4 after expansion, heat is rejected to the heat sink at constant volume. So again heat rejection process at constant volume. So this become volume constant and process is heat rejected. So QR. So like this we can plot PV and TS diagram for air standard cycle. Now we will move ahead to derive air standard efficiency. Definitely we are talking about only Otto cycle. So air standard efficiency, as we all know, what is the efficiency? Basic or general formula. So efficiency, it is air standard it is always work done divided by heat supply. So it is work done divided by heat supply. Now what is the work done? Work done is nothing but heat supplied minus heat rejected. So net work done is a heat supplied minus heat rejected divided by heat supplied is QS. So this is air standard efficiency formula for Otto cycle. Now we will put the values of heat supplied and heat rejected. Now what is the heat supplied? So heat supplied heat supplied is QS. When we supply heat here from 2 to 3 heat addition, heat supply. But this heat supplied is at constant volume. So how much is the amount of heat supplied? So QS is mCp delta T we normally use. So mass m. Now here heat supplied or heat added at not constant pressure but at constant volume. So mCv. Now what is the delta T for this? Temperature change. So for 2 to 3 process, higher temperature is T3, lower temperature is T2. So mCv delta T, so T3 minus T2. This is heat supply. Now what is the heat rejected? Now heat rejected, it is QR. Now heat is rejected through this process 4 to 1. Mass is same, so m 4 to 1 is a constant volume process, so mCv again. Now delta T for 4 to 1 heat rejection. Higher temperature is 4 point, lower is 1. So T4 minus T1. Now come to our air standard formula. So air standard efficiency of this Otto cycle. So QS minus QR. QS is mCv, delta T is T3 minus T2 minus QR mCv, delta T is T4 minus T1 divided by heat supply. How much heat supplied? So mCv T3 minus T. So mass in this closed cycle remains same, composition remains same. So mass is same at heat supplied as well as heat rejected. Now simplify this. If I try to simplify this, so these are the same terms, so it become 1 minus mCv T4 minus T1 divided by MCV T3 minus T2. Now MCV get cancelled. So our air standard efficiency formula become 1 minus T4 minus T1 upon T3 minus T2. So this is the air standard efficiency formula for Otto cycle. Now the question is, we don't know the exact temperature during the process. Or in other words, I like to say, we have to find out the efficiency on some notation, some standard notation, which are fixed, and that standard notation are compression ratio. So during the design of any engine, we are designing as per the requirement of compression ratio, not as per the requirement of process temperature. So we have to replace all these temperature terms or pressure terms or volume terms into some standard notation, just like a compression ratio or expansion ratio. So we will go for compression ratio here. So we have to find out the temperature in terms of some standard notation. For that, we have two processes. One is adiabatic compression, second is adiabatic expansion. So we will go first for adiabatic compression process. Adiabatic compression, that is process 1 to 2. Adiabatic compression 1 to 2. Now here 1 to 2, we have to find out temperatures. So if you know the direct formula, you can use, otherwise the simplest way. For adiabatic compression 1 to 2, that is the PV gamma equals to constant. From 1 to 2, we can write that P1 V1 gamma is equals to P2 V2 gamma is a constant. Now we have to replace some standard notation, just like a compression ratio. So what is the compression ratio? So at the beginning, total volume is V1, and after compression it become V2. So our compression ratio is highest total volume divided by this V2. So V1 upon V2. So anyhow we have to arrange this in terms of V1 upon V2 format. So V1 upon V2 become a compression ratio. So I am rearranging this. So it become V1 upon V2 raised to the power gamma, and second side it become P2 upon P1. Again V1 upon V2 definitely going to convert into a compression ratio, but what about pressure? So we have to replace this pressure term also. So we will use another equation to replace pressure terms. We know that for the process 1 to 2, P1 V1 T1 is equals to P2 V2 T2. Now from this we will find out the value of P2 upon P1. So rearrange this. So P2 upon P1. So P1 will shift it here. So P2 upon P1. So our equation become T2 upon T1 multiplied by V1 upon V2. So we will replace P2 upon P1 by this term. So our equation become V1 upon V2 raised to the power gamma, and this side T2 upon T1 in bracket V1 upon V2. What is power? Power is 1. V1 upon V2 raised to the power 1. Now rearrange this. So it becomes T2 upon T1 is equals to, I am just shifting this. So it becomes V1 upon V2 raised to the power gamma. If it is shifted, it will be divided. If I shift it again to the numerator, so it becomes V1 upon V2 minus 1. So shifted it will be in denominator. When I shift to numerator, they will become minus 1. As these two terms in a product multiplication, so we can write this T2 upon T1 is equals to V1 upon V2 raised to the power gamma minus 1. Now what is V1 upon V2? So we know that V1 upon V2 is a compression ratio. So we will replace that term. So T2 upon T1 is equals to compression ratio R gamma minus 1. So we will find out the value of T2. So T2 will be T1 multiplied by compression ratio gamma minus 1. So we got the first value of temperature T in terms of T1. Now the second process we have adiabatic expansion. So we will go for that. So adiabatic expansion process. So adiabatic expansion process, that is 3 to 4. Now in this, from 3 to 4 adiabatic expansion, we can write P3 V3 gamma is equals to P4 V4 raised to the power gamma. Now again we have to convert this into some standard notation. But during conversion we have to take a precaution that our standard notation either will be a compression ratio or expansion ratio or cutoff ratio. Here we will go for a compression ratio. Here we observe that heat rejection at constant volume, that means V1 is equals to V4, and heat addition at constant volume, so V2 is equals to V3. So we will arrange such that so ratio become V1 upon V2. That means for this expansion V4 upon V3. So we will go for V4 upon V3 raised to the power gamma. That's why I am shifting this. So it becomes P3 upon P4. Now in the same manner, we have to find out values for P3 upon P4. So P3 V3 upon T3 is equal to P4 V4 upon T4. Now P3 upon P4, so P3 upon P4, it becomes T3 upon T4 and V4 upon V3. So we will replace now the values of P3 upon P4. So V4 upon V3 raised to the power gamma is equals to T3 upon T4. V4 upon V3 raised to the power 1. When I shift this, it becomes denominator. When I shift that denominator to numerator, it becomes minus 1. Power become minus 1. So T3 upon T4 will be V4 upon V3 gamma multiplied by V4 upon V3 minus 1. As it is a product, so we will add the powers. So T3 upon T4, it will be V4 upon V3 gamma minus 1. And now we will replace the value of V4. How much is the V4? V4 is equals to V1, so V4 is V1 and V3 is V2. So volume V3 is V2. So if I replace this, so it will become a T3 upon T4 is equals to V1 upon V2 raised to the power gamma minus 1. And we know that V1 upon V2 is nothing but compression ratio. So we will put the standard notation compression ratio gamma minus 1. So T3 will be T4 multiplied by compression ratio gamma minus 1. This is the second value. So by using adiabatic compression, we calculate temperature T2 in terms of compression ratio. By using expansion, adiabatic expansion process, we find out temperature T3 in terms of compression ratio. Now putting these two temperature in our air standard efficiency formula. So our air standard efficiency becomes one minus T4 minus T1 divided by T3. What is the value of T3? T3 is now T4 compression ratio raised to the power gamma minus 1 minus T2. What is the value of T2? So it is minus T1 compression ratio raised to the power gamma minus 1. So 1 minus, if I take this common, so it will become compression ratio gamma minus 1 in bracket T4 minus T1 divided by T4 minus T1. So our air standard efficiency is 1 minus 1 upon compression ratio gamma minus 1. Now in this final form, there is no any variable just like a temperatures, volume or pressure. It is simply depend on compression ratio and the gamma value which is a constant. So this is again we can write like efficiency, air standard efficiency of Otto cycle is 1 minus 1 upon compression ratio raised to the power gamma minus 1. So this is our air standard efficiency for Otto cycle. Hopefully this is clear your idea, and I used to follow the basics. So if you directly know what is the conversion of this T2 upon T1 directly V1 upon V2 raised to the power gamma minus 1. Already this part is covered in a previous semester thermodynamics part. But if you don't remember, then you can follow these steps: adiabatic compression, then convert these, then replace the value of pressure in terms of other, and then shift it, and ultimately you reach to the same conclusion.